Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday the 9th of April. My name's Philip Kingston.
And I'm Gary Peer.
Yes, you are Gary Peer, and we're here at number 20 to 22 Ellington Street in the heart of Caulfield South, Gary, although I like to call this place Club Med Caulfield South because it's the whole lifestyle experience.
It's an entertainment centre, Philip, an entertainment centre, a resort style home, isn't it?
There's not too many houses, Gary, where you can get the whole package, which is a magnificent family home.
Yep.
Use it as 4, 5 or 6 bedrooms, huge entertaining areas, this gorgeous alfresco outdoor barbecue area overlooking a north-south tennis court.
Yes.
Plenty of room for the garden areas. You can kick the soccer ball. Just enjoy your life if you buy this home, Gary.
We have sold this. We've had the pleasure of selling this home before, Phil, and it is a magnificent home. It's coming up for auction, ladies and gentlemen, on the 28th of April at 3:30 p.m. So we're looking forward. How we're selling it, Philip, as one or separately? How are we doing?
Well, we're going to sell the house first, Gary, much as we did last time. The buyer on the house will get the first right of refusal on the tennis court.
Yes.
Hopefully somebody will keep this together. I must say, I want to just take issue with the way you address the camera and talk about
ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Boys and, do you think I should say ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls?
I think you can drop that whole
viewers.
Ladies and gentlemen. Viewers, friends.
Friends.
This whole ladies
friends
and
family
gentlemen thing, you know, you're so kind of old school, really, aren't you?
Look, I'm a very traditional sort of person. I'm not as modern and hip as you are. Clearly.
But let's conclude by saying 20 to 22 Ellington Street is the whole lifestyle Club Med experience, and somebody is going to be lucky enough to either buy the whole thing or perhaps just the sum of the parts or the parts on its own.
A pleasure to shoot GPTV from here, Phil, and what a weekend we had. Lots of highlights, lots of properties to review. Let's talk about some of those results, Philip. I happened to go to that property in Barclay Street, St Kilda at 12:30, which Mr. Jeremy Rosen's auctioned, and he did a damn fine job, and a competitive auction it was, Philip. It was passed in and sold shortly thereafter for $720,000.
And just out of interest, as I wasn't there and the viewers weren't there, what did you pass it in at?
I think it was passed in at 685.
685, so 685 to 720,000, another $35,000 increase.
Yeah.
I'd call that an excellent post-auction negotiation, Gary.
Would you?
Yeah.
Fair enough. You can call it whatever you like, Phil. Talk about what happened on Sunday in Royal Parade.
Oh, fantastic. Well, that was my first auction for the day, Gary, so I'd had by then 5 espressos, I don't mind saying.
Really?
So I was thumping, I was pumped and excited for that.
Well, we shot GPTV at that property. Lovely property,
really
Phil.
Good property.
Sold for an undisclosed amount. But
having said that, we did pass it in on a vendor bid of $1,200,000, Gary.
That's right.
And a massive post-auction negotiation later. And unfortunately, we can't talk about the price, but it was a big post-auction negotiation. Sold sticker went up, and I was off to my 11:30.
As was I, Philip, which was in Marlborough Street. We've got 3 boards along Marlborough Street, Caulfield North, all with sold stickers.
How beautiful is that?
Beautiful, don't they?
They're all 3 on the eastern side, so we've got to start looking for vendors on the western side of Marlborough Street. So if you do own a home on the west side of Marlborough Street, do the right thing and get an auction board with a sold sticker on it.
Welcome to Marlborough Country for those old TV viewers. Remember that?
Yeah, I do, Gary.
Yeah.
On the horse.
Showing our age.
Yeah, taking smoking cigarettes.
Yes, that's Andy. I think he died, that guy. That guy from cancer. He did, didn't he?
Well, he wasn't going to die from falling off the horse.
Well, he might have. You don't know how bad he was on a horse.
Maybe he lit that. Maybe he lit the cigarette. The cigarette dropped down onto the horse's mane. The horse reared up and rolled on top of him. You just never know.
Cigarettes
what
can kill
happen to you.
Yeah, no, they're no good for you. In fact, he was riding the horse across the road to buy some smokes, got hit by a car. That's what happened. That property, Philip, was sold. Also post-auction, Philip, negotiations, but sold for $980,000, and that's a terrific property in Marlborough Street. While I was there, Phil, you were off in Orrong Road auctioning a unit in that complex very close to Melbourne Grammar there.
Yeah, I was, Gary.
Yeah.
And we had a big crowd. I held that auction inside because it was a really beautifully renovated 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, solid brick villa. And we did go on the market there. I think we went on the market at around $820 and sold it under the hammer for $835,000, which I think was a good result.
So after Marlborough and Orrong Road, Philip, you were off at Teague Street.
I was, Gary, and I really liked that house. That was it was an attached home, and normally attached homes are on about 300 square metres.
Semis, they call them in Sydney.
They do, and they call them semis here now, Gary.
They do.
But normally they're on
something
about
good came out of Sydney, Phil. Not just my wife, but some good terminology.
And she's really a lovely wife.
She's lovely.
And you've been deliriously happy. And
I have been
you've
lucky.
had 2 beautiful children, and you've moved into a lovely house. And life is really lovely.
Yeah,
but
let's got a big mortgage.
Let's not talk about your life. Let's talk about the semi. So normally a semi, Gary, is on around 300 square metres of land. This one was on around 500 square metres of land. Beautiful renovation. Big block. Beautiful renovation. Real Balinese tropical feel to this renovation. And I arrived there. There's 120, 150 people at this auction. We had 5 people bidding for it. Reserve, which I thought was high, was $930,000. Well, we sailed past that, put it on the market at $930, sold for $957,000. So that's almost $1 million now for a semi in South Caulfield. So I've got to tell you, that's a real vote of confidence in how solid this market's becoming.
It sounds like it was an exceptional property though, Philip, and exceptional properties can get exceptional prices.
With exceptional auctioneers, yes they can, Gary.
In exceptional streets such as Glencoe Street, Caulfield North, Phil, because I saw your performance there just before I headed off to the footy.
Yes, and we'll talk about the footy in a few moments' time, just so that we can rub it into those Carlton supporters. But Glencoe was great because we had an advertised price range there of $575 to $650.
Yes.
We went on the market in that price range, smashed the top end of that. Yes. Whilst the price is undisclosed,
kept on going.
Another really good vote of confidence in the property market. And then, yes, you did go on to the game to see the epic battle, Gary, of the two coaches, the father, the mentor figure, the Mick Malthouse with his young protege there, who was worried about whether he would be able to defeat the master. So
it was the apprentice against the master.
Yeah, and sometimes the apprentice goes on to be better than the master. So what an epic battle.
It was an incredible game.
Yeah, it must have been amazing to be there.
Very sad outcome, Phil, but what can I say for those fellow Blue Boys supporters?
If you're a Collingwood supporter, it wasn't bad.
Collingwood, it was beautiful. I mean, they started the game with the banner saying, love to hate Carlton. That was great. Thanks for that. And for that, they did hate us.
What a gripping game right into the last quarter.
How are you going anyway? How are you going at the moment with football? How you doing?
Okay, just for the record, so every GPT viewer knows I am a Melbourne supporter. Which part of loser on my forehead don't you understand? All I can say...
You're loyal, I'll give you that.
All I can say about the Melbourne Football Club is I sat my 2 boys down a few years ago. I sat them down at the table and I said to them, because one was 14 and one was 12 at the time, and I said, boys, there is an unwritten rule in Melbourne that says that up until the age of 15 years of age, you can change football clubs. I said, I can't move. I'm wedded to these... I'm just thinking of a word to say about them. Losers.
Yeah.
But you can change, boys. And both of them looked me in the eye and said, Dad, you cannot change football clubs. All I can say, Jacob, Ben, I'm sorry to have given you the Kingston curse. The mighty demons were mighty 50 years ago. They are terrible. Please beat that out.
Yeah, fair enough. That's a very passionate view of your team that you've barracked since you were a little boy, Phil.
Since I was born, Gary.
And since you were born, and what an unfortunate choice. But you never know, Phil. What comes around goes around.
I was born on
you may live to be an old man with a beard and see Melbourne win and you might not have dementia. You might understand.
And just so you know how long I've been a Melbourne supporter, I was born on a farm, and my mother gave birth to me in the fields. And my father, all he had was, when my mother gave birth in the fields, he had his Melbourne scarf on, and he wrapped me up.
Exactly right.
My mother had just given birth on the ground with the cows and the sheep, and there she was on the grass, and he wrapped me up in the Melbourne scarf. And I have been cursed with the Melbourne scarf since
now
birth.
Let's depict the truth there. Yes, you are from a farm. No, your mother definitely did not have you there. Your father probably did wrap you with a Melbourne scarf early, and there is a curse.
Don't let the facts get in the way of a good story.
Well,
this is GPTV. I'm trying to liven things up here.
Some of that was true. You are a country boy. A lot of people wouldn't know that about you because you're a very coiffured country man. Let's talk about some of the things that are coming up in terms of real estate, Philip, because we've got another busy weekend out there, and we've got some fine properties that we're showcasing.
We do, Gary. Let's quickly go through some of those.
We've got a Victorian home, Philip, in Kooyong Road, number 416 Kooyong Road in Caulfield South. That comes up on Saturday, Phil. We're looking forward to that on Sunday morning, 19 Langdon Road. Great address, 10:30 a.m. You're doing that auction?
Fantastic property, 60s home on the corner of Langdon Road and Crottenhurst Avenue, and that is a really, really good example of architecture of its time.
Sunday at 11:30, Philip. Unit 1 at 229 Alma Road, St Kilda East.
A nice example of a 60s apartment building and a great spot, walking distance to our office, so whoever buys that, you can drop in any time.
For a cup of coffee. Philip, we've got a block of land opportunity coming up on Sunday afternoon in Bokhara Road. That is a great street.
Bokhara Road.
Scarra Road. Phil, a great block of land, a terrific opportunity to build your dream
I really like
home
that.
there.
I sold that a couple of years ago,
Yes.
and it's a really nice elevated block. I believe we've got quite a bit of interest in that, Gary, so looking forward to auctioning that.
A busy weekend upcoming on GPTV, the post-Easter version we've got here, Phil. And now it's full on right through to the June kind of school holidays, isn't it? It's a busy time. That's the next little breather, and then it's just bang right through till spring, and then it's through till the end of the year, and then it's next year before you know it. We have a commercial to show you, ladies and gentlemen, the Gary Peer commercial, the first ever Gary Peer commercial.
Now we're screening at the Classic Cinema.
It is.
Plug for the Classic Cinema.
Yes,
there.
we have to thank Pip Mushin. For those who don't know Pip Mushin, he was he's an
famous,
actor.
A famous actor.
He was in King Kong, he was in Strictly Ballroom, he's been on commercials, he's been on Frontline, he was on.
Yep.
And he's a director and he's a producer, and he made this commercial for us, which we put on at the Classic Cinema. We'll let you have a look at it now.
Sorry everyone.
Got the wonderful schools. So, the bid is at 860, where are we out there, Bill?
65?
65, yeah?
I thought it was 63.
63, 65, what, 64? Yeah, Bill. 64. At $870,000, are we all silent? Are we all done? Sold! Yes. To...
Yes!
Selling it. First call, second call, third and final call. Going, gone. Ladies and gentlemen, that's another successful Gary Peer and Associates auction.
Now that commercial, ladies and gentlemen, has a very interesting story attached to it, because one of the things that you'll know, there are things in that commercial that, believe it or not, have happened, not with us, but with other real estate agents. And in fact, interestingly enough, I don't know if you remember, you will remember this, we had a conjunctional sale many years ago with an old-fashioned real estate agent that I don't even know if they're around anymore, that was boasting that they had the best auctioneer in Melbourne and Victoria. And they had to do the auction, Phil. There was a bit of a battle because you were doing a lot more auctions at that stage. You were sort of up and running, but no, they would not hear of Philip Kingston. No, they would not. So they had their auctioneer come and do the auction, and the auctioneer actually knocked it down, and both buyers thought they'd bought the property. So
it does happen.
It was
not a Gary Peer and Associates.
It was a very embarrassing situation, and they turned to us and said, "Look, you know, you've got to work it out.
All care, no responsibility.
We're the conjunctional agent. We're here to help and work, but you're the auctioneer, buddy." So that was funny. We slipped that into the ad. But anyway, it was something we put a lot of thought and time into that ad. And as I said once before on GPTV, I showed my mother with great pride, and she said, "I don't like it. I don't like it at all." You've got people going to the toilet. It's in bad taste. They don't like it. So that's about the end of it.
We've actually had mixed feedback on that, but
Yeah.
it just goes to
She
show.
didn't like it at all.
You know what? You got to take.
Mother knows best, they say.
You got to take some chances in life.
Yeah.
Thanks again for watching GPTV. I hope you've enjoyed the show. We look forward to seeing you next week. I'm Philip Kingston. Have a fantastic week.
I'm Gary Peer. We'll have a new commercial soon. Thanks for watching and tuning in. We'll see you soon. Cheers.